Hey, Andrew Himes here. Today we're at Pottstown United Brewing Company here in Pottstown. We're going to talk to the guys here a little bit about what makes them and why they decided to open up their doors here. And just remind you that it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Cheers.
Cheers. Tell me a little bit about your menu, your concept. You know, a lot of the new breweries are coming out. They're doing food trucks. They're doing all that stuff. You guys decided to go with a full kitchen. Can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to do that, and maybe a little bit about the food that you offer?
Yeah. So when Steve and I had this idea of doing a brew pub, we wanted it to be something that somebody could go to, eat and drink multiple beers. So like a lot of things where if you don't have food in your establishment, people go there, they have a couple of drinks, and then they're like, I want to eat something too. You know what I mean? And it helps people with their getting intoxicated and, you know, keeping them there longer without having like to leave, go find food.
Yep.
The idea that we had was to have a menu that had stuff from every corner of the world. Like I like Asian food, I like Italian food, we like, you know, everything, you know, the regular pub stuff, burgers, wings, all that kind of stuff. We have a couple things that sell a ton of is these pork wingettes. They're pork shanks, and they're almost like a pork shank but a wing, so it's something on the bone. We sell salads and, you know, veggie, like black bean burgers, sriracha chicken burgers. We have regular wings, and then we have like staples like fish and chips. We have a meatloaf that we use like half bacon, half ground beef. So, you know, it's like just stuff that we do our own little twist on. I think that's the biggest thing, is keeping it different, because the beers are always going to be different. So, you know, as Steve changes up stuff, you know, we change up stuff with the food, and it's just been really working out really well. You know, since
Hey, how are you? So, take you through the brewing process. We start here in the mash tun. We crush some grains, mix it with some hot water, and that turns the water into like a sugar syrup type deal called wort. And we run that off. We put that into the boil kettle here, and that's where we add our hops, and it kind of smooths out the beer, gets rid of some of the old flavors. We get our, you know, hop flavor and bitterness from the boil kettle. Then we move it from the boil kettle into the fermenters over here, and we'll see that one of them is actually fermenting right now and bubbling away, creating carbon dioxide and alcohol, which is what we want. And we add more hops in there. That's called dry hopping. That's where we get all the great flavors from IPAs and all that good stuff. We then move it into a bright tank, carbonate it, then keg it, and pump it out of the faucet so you can drink it. It's basically driven on what our better sellers are. Obviously, we have more IPAs that are sold than other styles of beer. Since it's the winter months, we do have a lot of heavy beers on right now, including our Imperial Stout and Belgian Quad with cherries and a Bier de Garde. You know, just to keep people warm, but they don't move quite as quickly as an IPA would, nor do they store a lot longer than an IPA does as well. So here is what I've got coming up, and what is in fermenters, and what I've just put on tap within the last month. And you know, most of them are IPAs because that's what sells, that's what people want. And you know, this is just batch sizes that I make, what tank that they're in, so I can keep that straight as far as, you know, fermentation process is concerned. How many sugars are in the aggregate before and after fermentation. That gives me alcohol content, yeast health, I can figure that out. Strain of yeast that I use just to keep that straight. How many times they've been used, because yeast does, you know, it's a living organism. It will you know, die off or change flavors if you don't keep the health of it up. So basically, as brewers, what we do is we make sugar water, and we are we're yeast farmers, if that makes any sense.
Faber does 6 to 8 different flavored vodkas, anything from pomegranate, citrus, orange, chocolate. And then they have a Keystone Rail line, which is for licensees only, which is liter size instead of 750 mil, which you can get rum, gin. It's the only place in Pennsylvania where you can get tequila. We have it here. They also have a product called Single Prop, which is a rum, which personally I thought was comparable to anything in the stores, like Cruisin'. It's better than that.
Better than that.
So like what they do is they flew to the Caribbean islands, they found a rum they liked, they've shipped it back to Pennsylvania. They cut it with Nicaraguan green tea, coconut water. And then now, actually, all the corks are made from recycled coconut husks. So they're trying to really like push that, and it has a creamy coconut like flavor and like aroma.
It's not like that weird like fake coconut flavor that you get from like the coconut rums or anything like that. It's really just smooth and nice.
It's nice to drink.
You could honestly drink by itself.
Right.
You know, just over ice, which is really nice.
Yeah. And it's made in Pennsylvania. Right. So, you know, all the stuff that we do here is made in Pennsylvania. And people are like, you know, the only difference is you can't do like Hennessy, you know, or something like that, or a Kahlua, you know, so you just work with what you get. But I mean, we've had no problems with, you know, pretty much having every customer be happy with something. You know what I mean?
Coming in and leaving because you don't have.
Yeah, right.
Because we don't have something.
Yeah.
And we have Kinsey's whiskey, which is really good.
Yeah, that is good.
Used to be distilled here in Linfield, which is 8 miles down the road. They're not too far away. But they moved to Northern Liberty since then, which is actually truly good whiskey. And we sell a lot of that up. Right?
Yeah, we sell a ton of that, and we sell a ton of the Blue Coat gin.
Yep.
Blue Coat gin's in every liquor store pretty much now. It's with like the same with the Pennsylvania 1681 vodka. That's organic, I believe, and that's a great product. So, I mean, we're really lucky that we could do like a brewery and a brew pub license, but still be pretty much a full functioning bar. You know?